It is that time once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back for another outstanding in-your-face edition of Post to Post Wrestling with your boys, the Brothers of Discussion, and myself, Drummer John. Real quick, want to give a big thank you to our guest from last week, Chapel. Awesome guest. Want to give a big welcome, Post to Post Podcast Wrestling, to Reaper joining us. You guys might know Reaper from Custom Underground, from his work on Instagram. This guy's a mad fat customizer of all things wrestling and beyond. Reaper, welcome to the show. Brothers, what's going on?
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm just glad you used fat with a PH like it was fucking 1993 or some shit in here.
Yo, man, that's fat.
Fucking pretty hot and tempting, man.
Beautiful.
Oh, man. I'm excited to get into it.
So in the world of wrestling in the last week, we have had like some amazing shit this last week. There's so much to talk about in the last week. We had 3 different pay-per-views, 2 WWE pay-per-views, 1 Impact pay-per-view that I totally botched last week. And then we had Saturday Night Dynamite, which has a ring to me, man. I would love to see a Saturday show.
And
I got to say,
ample title changes across the board.
Yeah.
I got to say that Saturday Night Dynamite was, other than the show that I went to in Denver, that was my favorite episode so far. Like,
I will say, I'm pissed that the recording that I had to watch, John, was the first 30 minutes was basketball, and then I didn't get the last 2 matches.
Yes, I should have warned you about that. I had nothing to do with that because the DVR set to auto record, and it auto recorded from 4 to 6, which was the time that it was supposed to take place.
I know, it was super
with
annoying.
AEW's social media presence, you can find all those matches on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I know. It was all spoiled with me long before I watched it, but I was still kind of annoyed that I didn't get to see it, full on the way I wanted to.
That's my job, dude. My job is spoiler for you. I take that shit serious.
Yes, indeed. You spoil everything.
You're goddamn right. So, AEW Dynamite, Saturday Night Dynamite. Does anybody got a card lineup? Did we do predictions?
We did. I don't think we did predictions outside of just the usual way where we just did it off the cuff. I know.
I got the card here with the results.
Yeah.
Started off with. Was it the FTR start that one?
Yeah, FTR started it off. That's when we saw that.
FTR on Private Party, and we saw
they got Tully Blanchard in their corner now, which is pretty neat.
So they showed a picture of it in the article that I showed you, where the 3 of them are standing together. Instead of putting up the 4 horsemen symbol, they were just holding 3 fingers up.
Yeah, they're hinting at that ever so subtly.
Every week,
and I'm looking forward to it if it comes to pass. Reaper, what you thinking about that? Possibilities of the new 4 horsemen.
I mean, I think that Tully is setting up an Arn turn on Cody, and I think that it's only a matter of time till. I think the Bucks and. I think the Elite's breaking up, so I think it's only a matter of time till there's an angle with Hangman coming to be the 4th member. So,
yeah,
I think he'll be Hangman.
I totally agree. In terms of the Elite breaking up, I think it's just going to downgrade back to the original 3.
I agree, and I think it'll be cool because it'll be kind of like a heel Kenny and the Bucks. I think Kenny reign, probably title reign.
I could see that. I'm seeing,
he's been pushing that heel turn big time.
Oh,
they need to rehab him. I mean, he was kind of like the broomstick for the first year on American TV. You know, it was underwhelming from his Japan days.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. How he's not the Kenny from Japan. He's not the cleaner. You know. But
I think
there was some good thought behind it. Grayson had some great thought behind why.
Second year, baby.
Oh yeah.
they're
I really think he
sophomore.
can
It's
come
his
back.
sophomore year is the year of Kenny. He's gonna be
That's
pushed
true.
to the top and probably become the champ.
Sophomore years when everyone comes out of their shell.
Yeah, it's the first year to build everyone else, and then the second year use your established name brand to pop it up to another level.
I would personally like to see the Elite go back heel like they were in the early days of Bullet Club.
Like yeah.
I like heel Elite way more than semi weird. We don't know really where we want to go, and then just straight like babyface Elite. You can you can keep the comedy because that's fucking gold every time they do it. But I want them to be like down and dirty, run-ins, all that shit they used to do back in the day. A tight, cohesive unit.
Yeah.
They teased it. They teased it with the Bucks for a half a second when they had them versus Hangman and Omega. They teased the heel turn for the Bucks, but it never came to pass.
Give it time. I think there's no way they'll stay babyface forever. No one wants to make the Hulk Hogan mistake. Granted, like his infamous heel turn fucking saved his damn career. Mm-hmm. But it's a mistake to just rest on your laurels and run babyface or heel the whole time. You gotta show some depth, otherwise it's just kind of pointless.
Especially these 8-man tags, it almost is like they're trying too hard to make heels and faces too stereotypical.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like you guys don't need a team of 4 heels. Like you're watering down the bad guy tag teams. You know, keep them 2 versus 2.
Yeah, I know we mentioned it beforehand. What are your thoughts? Because I know you are basically the master of Penta and Ray in terms of customs, so I'm going to go ahead and give you that title in all forms now.
I'm a huge Pentagon mark for sure. I mean,
what are you thinking about their new possible stable or some shit that they're working with Eddie Kingston?
I didn't see. Honestly, I missed that part of the match because I tuned in too late and I haven't gone back on my DVR yet. But I know it was one of the first matches to start off, and like my thing is like I feel like the Lucha Brothers will like in the American market always be used like in a Tweedledee and Tweedledum like ancillary role. So like my expectation for them on American TV isn't like too high, but like I do feel like, well, I mean you do got like 2 stars there. Like in Lucha Underground, like Phoenix was a great baby face that like would just sell like a motherfucker, and then like when he got champ, that was the big payoff. And then Pentagon is like a monster heel. So like when you got like heel Phoenix, it's such a different presentation for them. So like I feel like it's kind of just like you guys be 2 bad guys with lucha masks, like right now in the American audience. But I do think that like if like the Butcher and the Blade start like fighting amongst Pentagon and Phoenix, that you can have a more in-depth like revealing of those characters. I mean, hopefully.
I can see that completely. I still have not dove into Lucha Underground as much as I should have, outside of that, again, short conversation we had about that a long time ago now. I need to. It's for free on Tubi. Like, yeah, I know. That's where I was watching it, and I just keep forgetting to go back and continue watching it. I just get caught up in everything else, and I'm just like, ah.
Well, and then like it's a written like beginning and end series, so like there's nothing to go, like you're not intrigued to see the ending because like it ends after season 4 or whatever, like so it's not like like there's nothing intriguing because it's such a side story of all those characters that it's not like canon for all of them. But I guess that's kind of like what I wish like AEW would do is like I feel like they almost lean too heavily on their BTE canon when like a lot of the other wrestlers, like you can create a new one, and like with how much effort was put into like Brandy and Awesome Kong, it's like it'd be nice to see that kind of effort put into like I like the Butcher and the Blade. Like why did they just take away Allie? You know what I mean? Like it would be cool to me. I thought at first Allie was like infiltrating the Nightmare Gang and was like gonna like corrupt QT Marshall and like go back to the Butcher and the Blade, but now I'm like they're just acting like she was never a part of that faction. I feel like, And what the fuck? Like,
I know, we were talking about that a couple weeks ago, as a matter of fact.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I was still under the impression that they might be setting them up for some dirty deeds or something, but it seems like it is more of a permanent thing, which is kind of odd, given, you know, real life circumstances and marriages, etc.
Well, we predicted that the Nightmare Sisters were going to win the tag team tournament. They did not.
I don't remember saying that. Did I say that?
I'm pretty sure you did.
I don't have.
I'm pretty sure we all did.
We'll have to look back on the tape.
I don't remember saying it
because we kept saying how it seemed like they were building this whole tag team tournament around them. Well, lo and behold, Diamante and Ivelisse win it. Both of them without AEW full contracts at the time.
Like I said, Diamante and Ivelisse. If not, call me out, call me stupid, call me a hypocrite. But no, I don't see Brandy and them winning because that just feeds an ego.
I know. I said that I wanted Diamante and Ivelisse to win, but I also played it safe, saying that it seems like this tag tournament was set up as a vanity project to really like get Brandy over, because one out of the two in that tag team, like we talked about last week, she's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
She does not have.
I thought so at first too, but the more I think about it, I think they're actually like booking her smart. Like I feel like she knows that she's like a cringe queen on accident. That they're like starting to do that on purpose.
Yeah, that's good if you can play into it and make it work. I'm all for it, but at the same time, it felt like a way to like further get her over.
Yeah, you're right.
And just something to, I guess, legitimize that tag team by having them get that trophy. But I'm glad it didn't turn out that way, because I think it was a far smarter move to push like a relatively, I guess you could say, unknown or a little more underground tag team.
You know, there's one thing that's working for her and then getting her over, in my opinion. Low brand.
She loves little brand. Hell, she had two little brand. She had the little brand twins with her the other night, and Justin was making them fight.
Yeah, that is more little brands than I have in the entire city of Colorado Springs. Like, they are nowhere to be found out here.
I'm still amazed at the back order time frame at ringside on all these things. Like, it's nuts. It's like it's late October, early November before they're going to get any more Wave 1 in.
That's crazy.
And I still haven't pre-ordered Wave 2. I need to, because I guarantee you, like, that one's going to be even worse to find just because of who all's going to be in it. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, God, I've spent so much money on fucking toys in the past couple months, because for some reason they always throw all the good shit out during the summer, and I'm just like, motherfuckers, please save this shit for Christmas.
So, that match that you were just talking about, Reaper, was the second match. Jurassic Express and the Natural Nightmares versus Butcher Blade and the Lucha Brothers. And at the end of it, Jurassic Express and the friggin' Natural Nightmares wind up winning it. Penta pushed Blade into a roll-up by Jungle Boy. And then they started arguing, and then Eddie Kingston comes out. And I'm not a fan of Eddie Kingston. I've said it before. Just not a fan of him. And they cut a promo that they actually had to edit, because they did the promo. They recorded this whole show the week prior. So kudos to AEW for not giving out too many spoilers on the show.
For once.
But, well, two of the spoilers proved to be right somewhat. And we'll get into that later in the card. But he cut, during his promo, he's talking about the time on the Indies, blah, 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 this and that. He mentioned Rey Mysterio in there because at the time, AEW thought they still had a chance of securing his contract. but then he's sticking with WWE for another 3 years. So they had to edit the promo to remove his name from it. But he cut a promo, saying, you guys are friends on the indies, and you guys were monsters, and blah, 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 kissing all their asses. And it's just like, come on, man. What happened to Death Triangle?
I know. Where's Pac, right? Like,
Pac is just stranded in England.
Oh, man. I like Death Triangle, too.
When they debuted in Denver, oh, my God, I marked out so hard.
I still think Death Triangle will be a thing. I really do.
I think it will be too, yeah.
It's too good, honestly, branding and everything. It works to that, like we were talking about before, how they're kind of marketing both Penta and Ray as heels here, and putting them with Pac is like a sensible way to do it. Then you're getting the more than just the the masked heels doing their thing. You've got someone that doesn't wear a mask, but you still play to the classic trope, which makes American audiences happy. The foreigners are the heels.
Yeah. Well, and then like a group of 3 sometimes is more powerful when there's so many groups of 4 or more,
Exactly. I mean, that's the best.
It leads into that whole trios thing, because
it's the best era NWO, the original 3.
Kenny Omega hinted at trios titles in AEW last year. So, for a minute there, it seemed like they were planting those seeds to start doing something with trios. Because you look at Best Friends and Orange Cassidy, you look at the original Elite with Kenny and the Bucks, Death Triangle.
Yeah.
You've got members of Inner Circle that could be trios people. Jurassic Express. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah. Now, talk about a tag team that fucking made the Elite do work Saturday night. Holy crap, that was a great triple tag, in my opinion.
Yeah, the Dark Order members of the Silver, Reynolds, and Angels.
What was it? 3,
4, and 5.
Oh, 3, 4, 5. I thought Silver was like number 7.
No, the 3 and 4, because you got Evil Uno is 1, Stu Grayson is 2, the Beaver Brothers, I guess they were called back in the day, were 3 and 4. Alex Angels is 5. Vance whatever is 10. Currently number 9 is being portrayed by Brandon Cutler, but he's not a member of the Dark Order. Because he was there again on Saturday during the celebration afterwards. They haven't given Anna Jay a number yet. Colt Cabana was not with them on Saturday, so that was confusing.
Well, if usually I doubt they'd have Colt with them unless they're working with Colt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like that's usually the way it goes. The Dark Order usually doesn't have Cabana doing anything unless they're working an angle to make him look good. If it's not like that, then I don't think...
We saw 10 in action again this week. He wasn't wearing his arm brace. He wasn't wearing his white trench coat. 10 is the only member who wears white bottoms. He used to be a wrestler named Vance something or something Vance. I can't remember his name.
One that was Mox broke his arm or whatever?
Yeah. So that guy. But it looks like he's going to be coming back in a fuller capacity after this week because he was involved in the beatdown and everything.
Yeah, his kayfabe injury has been healed.
Yeah. So at the end of that match, we saw Omega trying to kill a dude with a chair.
Oh,
and the Bucks had to stop him again.
I love Unhinged Omega.
God. Going back to what you guys were talking about, that's where he should be getting back to his stomping days of the Cleaner in Japan.
Oh yeah, Cleaner Kenny had so much fucking pardon the pun, fucking character, but it was just top end. And then they started that about the time they started to phase them out of Bullet Club. He became less and less like unhinged, and then started to become more and more like cliche comical relief crazy. And then he went to just kind of babyface. It was a weird transition.
Yeah, it was definitely. It was a good match, all around solid match. The Dark Order members are definitely holding their own and becoming better wrestlers all around. They didn't win. The Young Bucks and Omega won, but I mean, all around from a wrestling standpoint, man, they had some good spots in there. They looked tough. They didn't look like, like pushovers. Like the Dark Order for a minute there, the Dark Order members seemed like pushovers, and they did not come across as pushovers on this night.
I know part of, like, last week I mentioned, is if I'm remembering correctly, I was like, I knew that they were going to lose this match because I had
the belt title. Brody's
going up for that belt. And, well, I can't spoil it because shit's already happened, but we'll talk about it more in a minute. And I was just, they are going to fuck up with a Dark Order so hard if they do not give Brody Lee this belt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to snub him 2 times on 2 different belts.
Well, he needs it too.
Yeah.
Right?
It'd be a shit.
Well, they need to.
Shit.
Yeah, they need clout with the Dark Order. The Dark Order, before they brought out the Exalted One, Stu Grayson and Evil Uno were running roughshod on the fucking tag team division, and they made the Dark Order and the mystique of the Dark Order look like something badass. And then they started recruiting these jobbers, basically this younger talent, into it. People who were on losing streaks, and I'm like, how are you going to build a monster faction out of a bunch of losers? Well, it was that slow build that you love talking about there, Will. It was that slow build, and now, and again, we will talk about it more later, but we are finally starting to get that Dark Order we've wanted all along, and putting a belt on Brody Lee is like solidifying that. All right, Darby Allin versus Will Hobbs. Darby Allin comes out, fights. Will Hobbs is a goddamn monster. That dude's huge.
That surprise for how short that was, I thought that was a pretty good match. I don't think the coffin drop was a believable enough finish for it, but Hobbs made Darby look good, and Darby made Hobbs look good. I think it was a nice rub for both of them, really.
I like the fact that during the match, Will Hobbs, you hear him on camera going, "I need this. I need this," because he doesn't have a win yet in AEW. So I mean that added so much emotion to the match, so much drama for me. I'm like, dude, this is cool. He's got a cool backstory that they keep talking about on Dark. He wrestles because his brother, who was killed and shot, was a wrestling fan. So he wrestles to pay homage to his brother and shit.
That's cool.
So it's a cool little story.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, Will Hobbs. So I like that backstory about him, and it played into that during this match for me. It got me, it got me in the emotions because I wanted him to win, but I didn't want him to win against Darby Allin because that's my fucking boy there.
Darby, he has honestly, I was watching the free play of All Out last week. I mean, I watched it when it happened last year, but I was watching their free thing throughout the course of last week and everything, just for fun. And I got to the Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, and Joey Janela match.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see how much better Darby Allin has gotten in that 1 year span.
Oh, yeah. He's gotten better because of who he's been wrestling in this last 1 year. Matches against Jericho, against Cody, the people that they're putting him up against is making him a better wrestler, a better in-ring storyteller, and not just a spot guy.
Yeah, exactly. Just mention it though. I'm still sad that Jimmy Havoc's gone, but at the same time, I'll say it again. It was probably a smart move business-wise to cut those ties. But yeah.
After the match, Ricky Starks comes out dressed up like Darby Allin,
and he had emo painted down his chest.
Yes! I thought that was awesome.
That
And then
promo
Brian
he
Cage
cut.
comes out and jumps him, and
That
it was
promo
bad.
Ricky Starks cut though. Oh man, that was
Mhm.
he threw out like the classic contrived ass like emo like tropes in there. I was just like, this is great. Oh, Ricky Starks, you just get better and better all the time. I hope they don't fuck up using you. Really.
After that match, they go to their picture-in-picture commercial time, and this is normally where Sammy Guevara comes out, and I like the fact that he's still doing it now that he's back from his exile.
His Love
he comes out
Actually
with-
card moment.
Yeah, his card moment. So he's out there with cards, and he's flipping them, and he's not so much paying attention to what they say, and there were a couple cards that Matt Hardy put in there saying that he's going to destroy him and he will delete him and shit like that. And then when he realizes what's on there, Matt Hardy comes out and fucking blasts his ass.
Man, and chucks his ass through that table.
Oh, and dude, he chucked him. That was a good 10, 12 feet. He got some distance on that dude. So, yeah, they set up that tables match this week for Sammy G and Matt Hardy.
Oh, man.
After that,
I hope Matt stomps his ass.
he's gonna. We are gonna see a more brutal Matt Hardy. Like, this new incarnation of him is not Damascus. It's not any of these other characters that he's done. This is going to be just a fucking mean, nasty, brutal Matt Hardy. Like, they're going to take this spot, this accident, this bad choice on Sammy G, and they're going to use it to transform Matt Hardy. He's not going to be hanging out with Private Party no more, being their little huckabuck. He's about to go fucking nuts.
I think, personally, and you guys can weigh in on this as well, I think what they're doing is they're moving Matt's multiple, incarnations into more of a realistic, just unhinged individual type of thing. Mm-hmm. Instead of, the way it's classically been. I think they're moving away from that campiness.
Yeah.
And they're going to make it way more raw. Now, the only negative I can see from that comes more from if they don't portray that, if they try to portray it as some sort of, like, takeoff of mental illness. If they do that, they fucked up. Don't do it.
Right, yeah.
If they make it more of playing to both halves of that story, where he has all these past lives in him, and that's kind of made him, off to where he doesn't know which one's which at the time, and then it's just become this amalgamation of one just gnarly ass mean motherfucker. Then
you don't want him to have a Sybil moment or his multiple personality disorder.
No, we don't want to go that route because one, hardly anyone ever treats it correctly, and it's a loaded gun. It's bad news. Mm-hmm. That's Russian roulette. We don't want AEW to play Russian roulette.
After that match, we got a visit from the TNA Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa, Will's girl.
NWA.
What'd I say?
TNA.
Oh, I said TNA? My bad. NWA Women's.
You suck.
But Thunder Rosa came out and challenged Hikaru Shida for the belts.
I like where this is headed, because hopefully it turns into a way for NWA talent to get work while they're still kind of up in the air as to what's going on. Mm-hmm. Plus, so, I think it's way smarter than that weird pay-per-view angle that they're also trying to work. I think this will do better.
Well, this will work towards that, because Billy Corgan. What happened with this? What came about this is Tony Khan had the idea to bring in Thunder Rosa. He went to Billy Corgan directly about it. Billy Corgan agreed on the condition that she was labeled as the NWA Women's Champion, and she had the belt with her.
Yeah. I like that, because I want to see more cross-promotion shit. That's one, like we were saying way back when we first started the show last winter. It's like a return to the territories, almost. It's harkening back to the old days. There's more than one fucking promotion. There's some sharing of talent between the promotions. That's what I want to see, especially with the NWA and their whole legend of their champions traveling the world, etc., defending their belts. I like the idea of her coming in, going after one of the pretty much one of the hottest titles in the business right now in terms of women's belts.
Mm-hmm.
And
plus their women's division is a little bit lacking right now because of injuries. Chris Statlander, Britt Baker. There's a lot of females who are out.
Yeah.
So and they just released 2 female talents last week.
Yeah, Bea Priestley
Bea Priestley and the other young lady. I can't remember her name.
It slips my mind. I saw it just a little bit ago.
Or was it
Candice LeRae?
Gargano's wife.
Oh yeah, that's why we were talking about that.
But it was another British wrestler is what it was, because she's overseas. She can do it. But you know what? I'm not buying that shit, because Pac is overseas too. And they ain't trying to fucking get rid of Pac. So using that as an excuse to get rid of Jimmy Havoc is a crock shit.
That's not why they got rid of Jimmy Havoc. That's just the nicest way to say it.
That's what they said.
That's what they said, because it's a nicer way of saying we got rid of him because he was a safety liability and he is, too hot on the sauce and rehab's not working.
Well, it's not like you got to worry about him beating up Excalibur. Oh!
Excalibur will be back, this week?
He's supposed to be back this week.
Yeah, so, still yet.
We shall see.
I like I said last week.
Okay, so it makes sense if he's going to come back to have Jericho on there, because Jericho's going to be on commentary this week. But it also could be Jericho replacing him on commentary this week. So,
there's a chance of that too. I hope Excalibur comes back, because I enjoy Excalibur on commentary.
Mm-hmm. I enjoy Excalibur with Chris Jericho on commentary.
That is also a lot of fun.
Yeah,
because no one gives anyone more shit than Chris Jericho gives Excalibur, next to Britt Baker giving Tony Schiavone the work.
Which she does brilliantly. They actually had a spot with Britt Baker and Rebel and Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian that had to be reshot. It took place in the middle of the ring, and they wind up having to redo it in this back segment because of time. They ran out of time with the matches, so they had to cut an angle shorter, and that's the one that they chose to cut shorter.
I see. But to take us back to Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rosa's challenge.
Super excited to see her work again, because honestly, she was the best women's wrestler in NWA. Period. When she came in, I was just like, holy crap. She knows how to work.
Did you know her beforehand?
No, I didn't. I'd
never seen her before. She's in Lucha Underground, right? As Cobra
Yeah, she's in Lucha Underground.
I did not know that. But
I mean, just Cobra Moon. Yeah.
Yeah, just seeing her when she showed up, I was like, holy crap, she can work.
Yeah, she is.
I was sold on her as soon as she made her appearance. I was like, holy crap. And then I want to see her give Sheeta a run for her money. They're not going to let Sheeta drop a belt to someone outside the company, but if they did, I think that would be pretty fucking cool. And Thunder Rosa would be an awesome talent to do it with.
Yep.
But
she's proven not only in the ring, she's a legit shoot fighter. She does MMA. She's a badass. So if you're going to drop the belt to somebody, you drop it to a badass.
Mm-hmm. And Sheeta's fucking really good in the ring too, but she's still, to me, you can still see the inexperience in there. So I think this is also a good match to really push her even further and make her better.
She looks so good in that black and red outfit, man. It's hard to go against her.
I know.
The way you said that.
No, I'm not the next stalker like Philip Thomas II. Talk about that later. After that shit, we had the finals of the women's AEW tag team tournament, which was the Nightmare Sisters versus Ivelisse and Diamante. And I like the fact that they brought in Veda Scott for commentary on all this stuff. I could have done without Medusa, but it's nice to have a little throwback there. I always like Veda Scott, and I like how they were pulling her commentary. They were They were throwing digs at her being a lawyer, like she was in Ring of Honor and stuff. So I enjoyed that. The match itself, it wasn't a bad match. I personally thought that the Nightmare Sisters were going to win because I did feel like it was a big vanity thing for them. Like they were going to put it on them to, give Brandy some clout as a wrestler. But, the only thing she needs for clout in my book is little Bran.
Yes. This, like I mentioned before, this is where the recording cut out for me. So I saw, I believe, the first tie-up in the match, and then it cut off. So I pretty much did not see the entire match.
There was a lot of back and forth between the Nightmare Sisters not getting along. They played off of that quite a bit during the match. Ivelisse and Diamante had spots against QT and Dustin Rhodes. That storytelling was in there with the guys at ringside. At one point, Dustin was playing with the two little brands and having them fight. I thought that was pretty cute. But it wasn't bad. And Diamante and Ivelisse won it. Congratulations, ladies. And they won it without contracts, which was interesting because neither of them were signed.
I saw it in a recap. I liked how they threw down the roses and flipped their flags back out.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I thought that was pretty cool. I did. Something I'm amazed we forgot about mentioning. Way back, middle of the show, the announcement of one of the first big-time gimmick matches coming up at All Out. The Mimosa Mayhem match.
Well, this is brilliant. I love Jericho, and as this was going on, I'm texting. I'm all thumbs to friggin' Will, telling him about this. I'm like, this is brilliant. 500 cases of the bubbly and 80-something gallons of friggin' orange juice.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And so, we're going to see that at All Out. Jericho and Orange Cassidy in a Mimosa Mayhem match. The winner wins by pinfall, submission, or throwing their opponent into this vat of mimosa. And, again, just brilliant, just taking what you have and running with it. You got a guy who's selling cases of the bubbly because of a promo that he cut after winning the belt, straight off the cuff promo that just went through the roof. And then you got probably the most popular wrestler in AEW, Orange Cassidy, and orange juice is champagne. That's a mimosa. Let's make a match out of that shit.
I mean, it's crazy stuff. Grayson, what do you think about it?
I think it'll be fun. Honestly, if their prior two matches are anything to write home about, it's gonna be a really good match. Really competitive. It'll be a back and forth. I hope that Cassidy takes it, because Jericho's already been champ. He's been around for a while, and this is a way for him to put over a new up-and-coming talent in terms of the mainstream American audience, who everyone is already behind.
This will be a bit of a torch passing in this match.
Yeah.
For sure. And I can already see, the GIFs and the memes of Jericho sitting inside a vat of mimosa, coming out, hair wet, fucked up look on his face, something like that. That's gold.
He's going to have an even more expensive jacket to bitch about. But
the Mimosa Mayhem match looks very appealing for All Out.
Reaper, your thoughts on the Mayhem and the Mimosas?
I'm a huge Jericho fan and Cassidy, so I'm for it. You know what I mean? I'm just along for the ride. I think Orange Cassidy has really he's got so much more depth than he's ever been given credit for. Yeah. And I think he's able to show that. But I'm not like an Orange Cassidy mark or anything. when I was there at Double or Nothing and he came out, I was like, what the fuck is this guy, you know? But like somehow that has been like the best investment for AEW. I'm like, he's just continued to grow on me, and now, I mean, he's grown into a legitimate like persona, you know, versus just some weird. I'm weird, like, cause I love the Elite, but like I can't stand the campiness. Like I just like the viciousness. So you know, I like when you see other sides of different characters. So Cassidy pulling more seriousness is good, but Jericho, it's a little weird because like this part of Jericho, like I'm such a huge Jericho fan, but I find myself kind of like disappointed with him now because he kind of just seems like a, you know, he just seems sad now, kind of sometimes to me.
Sometimes I get the same thing. I'm like, Jericho, you're taking one too many dips to the same well.
Yeah,
but
I feel like my gut feeling feels like he got so pissed drunk that's why he lost the belt. Like he is like, I think he kind of was a little like bit of a rock star, you know what I mean, on that era, like trying to live it up.
Yeah, I would not be surprised, but at the same time, like having Jericho's honestly been gold for them.
It's the best thing they could have done. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's the greatest thing that they've done, really, because he did, like you guys said. I mean, he had that off the cuff phrase line, the bubbly, and it shot up, and that is Jericho's genius. Like that paid for it in gold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's proven that he can do everything, and he can do everything at a high level. You want him on commentary, he's going to make that shit sound like gold. You want him to put somebody over, he's going to put somebody over. You want him to be the face of your company as the first title holder, man, he put clout behind the name AEW with him having that belt to start off with. And me personally, I wanted Hangman to win. But you know what? They proved me wrong. They did the right thing for the business. You know, we hear that all too often in the up in Connecticut. But it was a very smart business decision by Tony Khan to put the belt on him before putting it on anyone else. And it worked. And he's gold.
Yeah. I mean,
he's just getting
got to
better.
regret that, right? I mean,
absolutely.
That's got to be the biggest. Like they could have got him with more money, but they just didn't see anything more in them because their system is so broken, right? Like,
it's true. It's true. There's like, I don't know what it is about WWE where they can't, you know, I honestly what it is they can't see the forest for the trees. They can't see the big picture at all.
You're right, yeah.
They're worried about is in the moment, right then and there, and they're not doing a very good job at playing the long game because I think with them, they've already kind of hit where they wanted their long game to be from back in the day when they were good and they were actually playing the long game to get to this point. It's like they've reached the top where they wanted to be, but because of that, they're getting stale, and honestly, once you're at the top, there's nowhere else to go but
down.
It is like that point of diminishing returns for WWE because, like, we even still tune in because we loved the Attitude Era and, like, the Stars even before that. But, like, the kids aren't going to turn in because they missed, you know, whatever, Santino Marella from, like, 2007. Like, I feel like there's going to be a big part in the middle of the 2000s that are, like, not going to produce older fans that are going to come back to the well. So either you're going to have, like, an elderly-ass Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, or what are you going to do, you know?
Exactly. It's well, I just don't know. It's WWE. It's like every time I think I've got them figured out, they do something else that's equally stupid, and I'm just like...
So Jericho has also been playing recruiter for AEW. And one of the first people that he brought in was Brody Lee. He's the one who actually contacted Brody Lee about coming over the day that his, or when he first heard about him requesting to get out of his contract, Jericho reached out to him. And that brings us to our final match, the main event of the evening, Cody versus Brody Lee and the AEW TNT title on the line. And dude, Brody Lee just dominated. He beat the shit out of Cody.
It was a squash match of the century.
It was big time squash.
I have not seen it, and I'll eventually watch it. But from everything I've heard and seen, like, all signs pointed to squash. And I was like, that's crazy. A squash match against Cody. You never would have expected, like, the VP to be like, yeah, squash it.
Well, they needed to write him off of TV for an extended time. Yeah. He's getting ready to work with Stephen Amell on that Stars show, Heels, that's about wrestling. So they needed to write him off for an extended period of time. You know, they wanted to make the Dark Order look good, like we talked about earlier. You know, they needed to put this belt on him. So, I mean, everything fell into place to have this storyline come out like this, to squash him, to get him off TV, to put a belt on Brody Lee, and then have the whole Dark Order come out and just beat the shit out of Cody, out of Arn. We even saw Anna Jay beat the shit out of Brandy. Like, this is the Dark Order that we've been asking for since Stu Grayson and Evil Uno hit the scene. Like, they
speaking of which,
look strong.
Isn't Evil Uno losing like weight? He looks way better.
He looks so thin now.
Yeah, he looks great. I mean, good for him, you know.
Maybe they'll let him take his vest off again.
I want to see his little toadies come back, the creepers, to make the throne in the ring. I miss that so much.
Oh man,
that was great. But to go back to what I was talking about before, that I would say for now, is like online. Like in a bunch of the wrestling groups on Facebook, etc., a lot of people are like, "Oh, you wanted Brody Lee to look like a monster, but you had him win a mid-card belt." I'm like, motherfucker, do you even watch wrestling? I mean, shit, his first, like, big angle was for the world goddamn title. As soon as he got there, they're not going to put it on him. That's stupid. It is not going to happen. Would it have been kind of cool? Sure, but the shelf life for Brody Lee would have been very, very short if they had belted him with that, like, that soon. Because, I mean, like I said with WWE, once you're at the top, there's nowhere to go but down. And having him lose that, to me, it doesn't diminish the Dark Order. It makes Brody Lee even more pissed, and it makes them double down on that crazy, like, zealot attitude. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't show weakness, but it shows that maybe they weren't believing in their own mantra strong enough, so they got even more entrenched. And then, as you've seen with the recruiting and the slow return of Stu Grayson and Evil Uno, and them getting more and more pushes, even though they've lost the matches, which I think they definitely should have won. It's just made them look better and better again, like they were when they first hit the scene. Like, giving him this belt, people are like, "Oh, you wanted to make Brody Lee out a monster, but he gets a mid-card belt." It's like, fuck off, dude. Eat shit. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's perfect. You had him squash one of the biggest names in the company. Fucking squash.
I mean, that's just it. Like, that belt could be a mid-card belt, but Cody put so much work into that week in and week out to make it more than that. That, like, that's why the squash was worth it. Because, like, ultimately, if you'd have Cody, like, destroying, like, Lance Archer and all these guys just to have, like, Cody lose it on a Dynamite, it'd be like, well, what the hell, you know? Yeah. Like, it almost needed to be this way because he had built it up as much as he could build it up to now the point where it's like Cody's just going to be putting himself over. And that's not even the case, and that's not what's happening. But you know what I mean? Like, you're always going to have that incessant WWE fan, like, alleging that.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what it was. Is honestly,
I'm a WWE fan, and I didn't buy into that. So,
well, there's certain ones that have drank a little more Kool-Aid than you have, John.
Yeah. I mean, with all respect to WWE,
slurp right from Vinnie Mac's kielbasa.
Yeah, from the udder of the He Devil himself.
I mean, to be fair, if you're not a fan of Cody does more than enough of the own work on putting his own foot in his own mouth, like on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, He's the one that's saying we'll never talk about demos, and then allows, I guess if you wanted to get into like, they could be, Cody asks for it sometimes, but damn it, Cody, like.
Yeah. He does just a damn good job when he's doing stuff, and I thought this was a great way to get the belt off of him. And then John mentioned the fact that he's going to do some TV, which is one of Cody's like definite like little side gig, side passions. Because
he's working. Him and Stephen and Mel have a company together. So I mean, that's his boy Arrow. So he put him in his show back and forth. He was at the pay-per-view. So
he was at All In. He had a match.
Yeah.
He was in Bullet Club. All those things. But
so this week we're looking at Thursday night Dynamite instead of Wednesday.
It still works. Dynamite surprisingly works with like fucking every day of the week.
Pretty much, because you could blow up any day of the week.
Yeah.
So this week, like I said earlier, Jericho's going to be on commentary again this week. Excalibur is slated to return on commentary this week. We are going to have a Dark Order celebration, Mr. Brody Lee's TNT Championship celebration. And this could make for some good TV. We could see who's going to be next to challenge for this belt. Are we going to see another...
That right there, who's going to be next to challenge for that belt? That's what I'm most interested to see, because with the way they've played Brody Lee up, he's not going to be someone that's going to do an open challenge for that belt. He's going to control every aspect of how people approach him to go after that belt. It's going to play into that weird, like, faux caricature of Vince McMahon that they had been putting on him since the beginning. I have high hopes for it if they do it correctly.
But I mean, who do you guys think would be his next challenger? If it wasn't for the fact that Orange already had a match going on with Jericho, I would have liked to see Best Friends and Orange Cassidy challenge for the belt. But that's not going to be, that's not happening because he's already got a match with Jericho. So who do you guys think would be his first contender?
I would like to see it be Luther, and then like use him like more prominently now that they're pushing the Dark Order more. Because I heard he was like one of the rumored leaders for the Dark Order when they were talking about bringing him in.
Him, Matt Hardy, and Brody Lee and Christopher Daniels were the four big ones.
Yeah.
Christopher Daniels would have been such a weird choice. It's like, part of me's intrigued by the idea of it, but I'm also glad they didn't. Because his
Exalted Angel or Exalted One Fallen Angel.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of gimmick ways that they could have made it work, but I personally was like, he's played the clean-cut angle, quasi, just not even heel. It's been more of just smug, we're better than you angle with SCU for so long. It's like, it'll be hard to divorce him from that.
I was going to ask Grayson what his thoughts were on it.
I like the idea of Luther, because really, they brought him in, they're like, oh my fucking god, we got Luther, and they put him with the Nightmare family, and then they're like, oh shit, pull the plug because this sucks, which it did. It was kind of stupid. It made no sense. So Luther would make a good, some good cannon fodder, I guess you could say, for it. But I don't feel like it'll be Luther. I think it'll be someone semi-known. Who's Moxley wrestling at All Out?
MJF,
yeah.
Brian Cage.
Okay, Brian Cage.
He's FTW champion. What about, hear me out, Colt Cabana?
Not yet. Too soon for that. I would rather see Wardlow.
I think that is honestly probably the best out for Colt Cabana to break loose from the inner circle. All right, not inner circle, the Dark Order. There. That right there, he beats Brody Lee for that belt. somewhere down the line.
I feel like this is going to be the Dark Order growing even harder. Like, I think they're going to be like Nick Patrick, NWO. Like, I think they're going to start screwing over the faces with his power that he's leveraging, like you said, with the belt, like in that McMahon attitude. And I think they're going to just like, I think like it's oddly smart because like Cody's raised that belt as much as he could, and I think Brody's going to be in a unique spot with the faction as the head of this big group to even raise the belt even more so.
Mm-hmm. Make it a sought-after title because, like we mentioned already, Cody did not want this belt to be like considered a mid-card belt.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And if they market it the right way, there's a definite possibility of it being like, I don't even consider the IC belt and other promotions a mid-card belt because, I mean, the IC belt to me is honestly just a fancier way of saying a world title.
Yeah. I would say the IC belt is like I would say it's just in as high as regard. It should be, historically, should be just as high as the heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. title is a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, those except for maybe the New Japan one because that one's gotten a weird amount of like legitimacy. It's strange all of a sudden,
The IC, there was an IC title belt change in WWE. We'll talk about that later. It actually happened the 2 days before SummerSlam. So we'll get to that later. Next up, we got the tag team #1 contenders gauntlet match. The Natural Nightmares versus the Young Bucks versus Best Friends versus FTR. And the way they're doing it, it'll start off with the #4 and the #3 slots, which is Natural Nightmares and the Young Bucks. Whoever wins that goes on to fight the #2, Best Friends. Whoever wins that goes on to fight the #1, FTR.
Well, we all know it's going to be FTR versus the Bucks at the end.
Yep, exactly.
And then FTR is going to win.
Yeah.
Yep. That one reads out pretty easy.
Yeah, the only way FTR doesn't win is if they plan to use the Bucks going against Kenny and Hangman as the way to dissolve that team and push Hangman out the door. Because the way that promo, like little vignette cut out with Tully and FTR and Hangman during the show Saturday night, it seemed like if they went that way, that would be like an instant cut of ties.
Ooh. You got me thinking there. Mm-hmm. So we see, just like you said, Young Bucks versus Kenny and Hangman use that as a way to dissolve the Elite and have Hangman go his own way with FTR. Hangman challenges for the friggin' TNT title.
Yeah, but if Hangman loses, that's gonna fuck him up.
Mm.
They're not gonna take that belt off of Brody Lee just yet. I think.
No.
Yeah.
No. He's gonna
take
keep
it
that
off him for a while. He's gonna have it for a little bit, but that could be a slow build.
Yeah,
having FTR with Shawn Spears and Hangman as the new Horsemen against the Dark Order. You feel what I'm saying there? That could be the long game.
It could be. There's a lot of different ways. If you don't want to kill FTR's momentum and you just want them to seem like a just straight dominant powerhouse, they're going to win this gauntlet, hands down.
Yes.
And then when they beat Hangman and Omega, what could happen is the Bucks could run in, and that's what costs Hangman and Omega the match, and then that's what cuts the ties with Hangman and them, and it also allows Kenny to like grow in that unhinged fashion, and he lashes out at the Bucks.
Wouldn't it be best to have Hangman just turn on Kenny and like do the whole Arn kind of thing and like?
I also like that was one of my alternate ideas as well, because I was thinking about I've kind of been ruminating on this idea for like a few days, and I like that one too. The one I mentioned is just the one that came to my head like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, I think you're right though. I think that's what's going to happen because I mean, if Hangman went heel, I think the reaction to him would be similar to like a Rattlesnake Austin, and so I don't think that would be a bad maneuver. You know, I think, and for him to screw Omega could be like the biggest, like could be the thing that he needs to get over, like on his own, even though I think here it is, but he's like too intertwined to the Elite, like a big betrayal that's almost like unforgivable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He just to stab his old like Bullet Club brethren in the back because they've been through fucking thick and thin for a long time now.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we all have fond memories of the Hung Bucks.
Oh man,
But
I feel like I need to go find that picture and then post it up. Let me see.
Hangman and FTR together, though. That's 3 Rattlesnake Austins.
Yeah.
Together. Like
3 Rattlesnake Austins, and then you've got Sean Spears.
And but get this, like I think Sean Spears with a good booking could take out a guy from the Dark Order, and then could set up a shot to be that. I mean, I don't want to go back to mid-card language, but like that quote-unquote mid-card belt to set up a Hangman title run against Omega down the line, and then you could have a full sweep with the the new 4 Horsemen.
Oh yeah, that'd be. You sir, bringing the heat ideas. Oh my. Just like not to sound too overly markish about AEW, because I feel like most of us probably feel that they are currently the strongest promotion in the business right now.
For sure, yeah.
They just have so many like fresh ideas that that they're using, and I think the number of things they could do right now with just this angle is near limitless. I think it's crazy how many things they can do.
What else we got? We got Jon Moxley versus MJF contract signing. It'll be a beatdown. Tables will get broken.
Now, do you think Mox is going to beat the shit out of him, hit him with the paradigm shift one more time, and then sign the contract for a no finishers match? or a no paradigm shift match?
Thank you, Grayson.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that.
Hung Bucks.
The William Hung Bucks?
William Hung Bucks.
Oh no, I've seen that William Hung is. Oh my god, you guys are crazy. Is that who she bangs American Idol guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody who wants to see him, send us a message to the Post to Post Wrestling Facebook page, and we'll send it to you as a DM. There you go.
Yeah. On the slide.
I like that idea because the whole trying to ban the paradigm shift, aka the
double arm
DDT, or in New Japan the Death Rider, and I got a story about that also, where they got the name from.
It's fucking cool as shit. It should be the name here.
So what happened was they needed an outfit for him over there, so they went to a Goodwill, and they found this vest that had on the back Death Rider.
Huh.
That's where the name came from.
That's cool. Is probably one of the greatest, serendipitous moments.
Mm-hmm. If you will. From a Goodwill, they got the name from a jacket they got at Goodwill for him.
Damn it, New Japan! Your thrifty ways have won yet again.
Matt Hardy versus Sammy G in a tables match. Brutal Matt Hardy comes out to play.
Oh yeah, he's gonna put the hurt on some people. The only way Sammy's gonna get out safely is inner circle interference.
Now I was just gonna say that there should be plenty of inner circle interference. Who is gonna interfere for Matt Hardy?
I'm thinking it'll be. I think it'll be the Street Profits more than it'll be the Elite.
Street Profits do not exist in AEW.
My apologies. Private Party.
Private Party. There you go.
Private Party.
That's still not as bad as me saying the TNA Women's title. It's all good.
Private Party. That honest honest mistake, just because it feels like they've got a similar gimmick.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be Private Party. I've never been that big of a fan of Hardy Party. I get it. Okay, rub the new guys. They're very similar to you and your brother back in the day. I just don't want to see that. I want to see Luther and Serpentico come out and help his ass.
That would be cool.
That has a lot of potential too. Like a whole crew of unhinged individuals.
Exactly. That's what I want to see.
That would be cool.
The odds are with you, but I don't know if it'll be this soon.
Well, we all know that Tony Khan listens to our show, so Tony, that one's free.
He'd have to, with the number of times random shit we've said has happened on their show. Something's got to trickle through, or it's just.
I said that before, yeah.
Just the weirdest coincidence in the world.
And then we got Big Swole versus Britt Baker, Penelope Ford, and Rebel in a handicap match. Again, brilliant booking by AEW because Britt Baker's not ready to be back in a match yet. Her nose job is not completely healed up. So book her in a handicap match where the other two ladies can do all the work.
Mm-hmm.
So love it. I love the fact that Rebel's going to be in the ring again. I liked Rebel when she was with TNA. She was, a little bit younger back then, a little bit smaller, but man, she got some legs and an ass on her, man. I am a fan.
John loves his ladies.
And even now, because I'm older, I'm 47, so she's ripening like me. She's just ripening a whole lot better.
She's aging like a fine wine and not like a carton of milk left in the sun.
That would be how I age. Only other thing I got for AEW this week is Shaq. Shaq has signed a new deal with Warner Media. During the video trailer that they were talking about him renewing his contract and signing, was a little teaser for AEW. And so there's the potential that he could wrestle for AEW. He actually said that he would love to fight Cody.
Jeez.
Cool. I would love him not to fight Cody.
I don't want. I mean, as much as I can fondly look back on those days of Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone and WCW, please don't. Please. If you're going to do any callback to late 90s, early 2000s WCW that anyone wants to happen, if it's not David Arquette, don't do it.
Yeah, at least that motherfucker learned to wrestle because he wanted to give back.
Yeah.
And get rid of the stank that Russo gave.
I saw that he's got that documentary coming. It's out already, right?
Yeah, I think it comes out I think it's out like in a way, but I think the 28th is like the day.
So Friday. Dude, a lot of stuff dropping on Friday. Bill and Ted, the New Mutants, David Arquette. It's going to be a great day. All right, so anything else from the world of AEW, or we can go down to the Performance Center in Orlando?
Let's take a trip to the Performance Center and be mildly disappointed because we all know what that entails.
Yeah, so we're going to start off the Amway Center. WWE has procured the Amway Center for the rest of the year, and that is where Thunderdome is taking place. They debuted the concept on Friday night. We saw a IC title match with a title change hands. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. Jeff Hardy takes home the belt.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, they're giving Jeff some legitimate rubs. I think he can still work really, really well, and pairing him up with AJ, who just makes everyone shine, was a great move.
I think they belted him more to try and keep him around. Like, his contract is going to expire within the next year, I believe. I don't think he signed another one. And they are scared shitless he's going to AEW to join his brother.
He will. There's no way he won't.
So they wanted to put the rub on him, make him feel good.
Oh, I guarantee, even when his contract expires, like I think Matt will be able to convince him to come over.
I think so too.
I do. He'll milk WWE for all their fucking worth for the next year or two, but after that, it's off to the races and the return of the Hardy Boys and some weird fucking shit.
So when Thunderdome debuted on Friday night, Vinnie Mac came out, made a appearance on Friday night, and he came out, and then the Fiend came out, and Braun Strowman came out, and then fucking Retribution came out. So like everyone interrupted him, and they wound up beating up. Retribution was beating up Braun Strowman. The locker room cleared out to help him. That actually tied into the Jeff Hardy match, because while they were beating up Retribution, AJ Styles looks over, sees Jeff Hardy, and clips his fucking knee and takes him out while they're fighting Retribution. So he had to wear a knee brace during the match because he's had his knee rebuilt. And that actually wound up winning the match because he hit AJ in the head. AJ was going for a Styles Clash, and he kicked and hit him with the friggin' knee brace, and that's how he got the pinfall on him. So that was I like how they told that story throughout the whole episode, that AJ clipped him and all that whatnot. Interesting in the fact that they let Retribution interrupt Vinnie Mac. So I mean that means that
they must be over.
He's not that they're over. He's high on this idea. He thinks it's good shit.
Yeah, it's good shit.
So he let them interrupt him because nobody, not anyone gets to interrupt the fucking chairman. We know
nobody except The Rock.
So Friday Night SmackDown, that's what we got. There was not a whole lot of other stuff that happened. Saturday night, we had the NXT TakeOver 30 card. So we had a kickoff match, Breezango versus Oni Lorcan versus Legado del Fantasma, which is Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, who go with the former El Fantasma, or what the hell is his name? Guy used to be King Cuerno in Lucha Underground.
Escobar.
Yeah, Escobar is his name now. Those are the other Santos, and my name is Santos Escobar.
God, such a lame ass change of names. El Fantasma was so much fucking better. Or not El Fantasma, but Phantasma was so much better. Or Phantasma
El Hijo del Fantasma. That's what he was.
Yes.
So much better.
So that match there, number one contenders, Breezango wound up winning it. Tyler Breeze and Fandango.
I am glad that they went back to NXT. I really am.
Well, what's his name? Tyler Breeze, Vince McMahon hated him. Did not like him at all. So he was just wasted talent on the upper brands. So it just made sense to bring him back. I'm glad that Fandango followed him and they kept the tag team together because they're entertaining as hell. And they can throw down, they can work, but they're funny. They make me laugh when they're mocking other people's entrances, which is a thing they're doing in NXT quite a bit. Dude, that shit is awesome. It's funny.
That's good stuff. It's the real good shit.
Good shit. First match, we had Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. Thatcher's Thatch Can wrestler. I don't think we made any predictions on this show.
That one we did not have. I've got it right here, actually. Our predictions for 30, we only had 4 matches at the time of recording.
That's right. We'll get to those as it comes. This one here, Finn Balor took the win.
Of course.
It was a good match. Ground base versus high flyer. A lot of good spots in this match. Balor hit the coup de grace, finished it up with the 1916, gets the win. Then after that, we had the North American ladder match. Johnny Gargano versus Damian Priest versus Cameron Grimes versus Bronson Reed versus the Velveteen Dream for the North American title. Dude, this match was awesome. I'm not going to lie. I love this match. There were some spots in here that were just friggin' awesome. My favorite one, though, was Candice LeRae. She gets involved in the match to try and help out her husband, Johnny Gargano. She's on the ladder. Bronson Reed, who's a 300-plus guy from New Zealand, gets up there. She jumps on his back, and he goes and dives from he was on like the third rung with her on his back and splashes Gargano. Like, that shit, dude, I jumped out of my seat. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Any of you guys watch that one? Or Reaper, did you check that out?
No, I missed the NXT one. I was kind of getting... I'm not... the NXT is the one that I won't keep up on enough. I'm a fan, but, I mean, I didn't watch NXT.
I watched the whole thing. I thought that match was really good, but I felt like it just drug on.
I could see that.
Because, like, they had too many, like, oh, he's climbing, and then someone comes in last minute to get it. It was too many of those, rather than, battling to get to a ladder. Someone always was on a ladder, and then someone stopped it. And it was just sort of, like, kept going, and you're just like, well, who hasn't shown up yet? Oh, now it's his turn. There he goes. And they literally did it in a circle. It's always the same person. It felt like it was always the same person stopping the same person, because it kind of kept going in, like, a loop. Mm-hmm. I will say Bronson Reed looks like Bam Bam Bigelow had a love child with One Man Gang.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And he was wearing Bam Bam Bigelow's outfit.
Yeah. With a One Man Gang crossbows. Did you see that thing that I sent to Ringside Collectibles and they liked it on their Instagram where I said that exact same phrase? Or did I tell you?
That's hilarious, though.
Because I shit you not, it's like they did a thing is like, or he sent them sent a message out to Mattel. He's like, the ball's in your court, and then they like regrammed it, and then I was like, man, it looks like Bam Bam and One Man Gang had a baby. But that's exactly what I said, and then like they liked it, and then a bunch of other people were like, holy shit, it is.
For sure,
that dude was a beast, man. But we predicted this match.
Let's see.
I did. Yeah. I thought we broke it down into like singles matches when I was watching it, but I will say that I did not think Damian Priest would ever get a notable win. So I was very pleasantly surprised and glad he did get the win. Yeah, because I felt like they weren't ever going to do shit with him.
Yeah, you and John both called for Priest. Chappell called for Gargano, and then I just said Dream just because.
Mm-hmm. I honestly forgot that I actually picked Priest because I remember my whole thing of they're not going to do it. They won't do it. They've just been shitting on him since the beginning, and then he wins. So I honestly looked at the lady, and I was just like, I got it wrong. I forgot who I picked. I didn't even. I felt like I didn't even pick him just because I remember how much shit I gave. So that's good. Good.
Okay, the way that Grayson makes these picks is unbelievable, man. He's got the psychology down. He's in the writer's fucking mind. Which brings us to Grayson's favorite new wrestler, Pat McAfee.
All right. Let me go ahead and get my thing out of the way. So, when they announced the match, the 3 words out of my mouth, fuck Pat McAfee.
Yes.
The 3 words. I watched the match. Fuck Pat McAfee. That was a good match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
Like I was just like, holy shit, what the fuck am I watching right now? It was very surprising, because usually, with these celebrities or, outside people, it's usually just like some shitty match, like Tyson Fury and the Cain Velasquez Brock Lesnar match. It's just a piece of garbage. That dude fucking brought it.
Dude, backflip off the top rope?
Jeez.
So I was, I will eat my shoe and say, I was wrong. Good job.
And from what I read about this match is they worked it as if you were a real like they worked spots for the match, and that was it. Like
I hope that's true, but that's hard to believe.
That's what I read.
I will say, like, if that is what his case, more props to the dude, even more than what I'm already giving him. But that's just that's really hard to believe. Outside.
Yeah, he also had to dive outside and a backflip, and it was pretty good.
Oh. Well, someone from outside the genre that can work, that isn't just there to be a run-in, cough, cough, every fucking football player they've ever brought in, cough.
Mongo.
Fuck Mongo.
Mongo could work better.
Mongo was a 4 horseman, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the worst 4 horsemen I've ever seen in my life.
He was the worst, but he's still better than every other fucking football player they brought in to work.
I'd rather see Kevin Green.
Okay. Kevin Green was entertaining.
Okay.
With his Carolina Panthers outfit and whatnot.
I'll give you that one.
But, Adam Cole obviously going to win this one. Yeah. I honestly hope, and I hope we see Pat McAfee wrestle again. Like
he already said, as of right now, it's a one and done.
Okay,
because he has a hectic schedule.
Okay. Well, hopefully down the road.
But the door is not shut in his eyes. It's just his schedule won't allow more than this one at this point in time.
At this point, his mic skills, like some of his mic skill, I enjoyed. Like when he was talking about how he is a $1 million professional, like he's made $1 million in 7 different professions, and he's about to make wrestling number 8. Like, dude, he cut some pretty good promos. His mic skills
his mic skills were actually really good. It's like the dude literally took promo classes forever in a day.
They offer those at the Performance Center.
They do. If he only had 3, that dude took those 3 and made them 30.
He got that shit from ITT Tech.
Perfect.
Adam Cole wins that one. Then we got Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. And Io Shirai wins that one.
Excellent. Yes, we all chose Io. All 4 of us. And then the previous one, we all chose Cole because that was a given.
Yeah.
We just were pleasantly surprised that it was so good.
Gotcha. The Io Shirai Dakota Kai match was good. A lot of good spots on there from Io Shirai. She's a high flyer. Raquel Gonzalez got involved, who's Dakota Kai's backup, her muscle, her Wardlow. Dude, she's a beast. She's huge. Raquel Gonzalez, my daughter's watching it with me. She's like, that girl is huge.
Did you say it exactly like that?
Pretty much.
Excellent.
Pretty much. Io Shirai hit the over the moonsault and wins. So her and her fiance still have much gold dripping.
Oh boy!
Those who do not know, Io Shirai is engaged to Evil.
Oh,
over in Japan.
Get it?
Yeah, get it.
Yo, boy, you be dripping.
Yeah, they be dripping.
Icy.
At the end of the match, Raquel Gonzalez started to whoop up on Io Shirai, and then Rhea Ripley came down to make the save, and they had Raquel Gonzalez and Rhea Ripley going face to face. So they're definitely setting that up, for Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez. I'm looking forward to seeing that match. 2 big girls, 2 strong, tall, big girls getting it on. That's going to be awesome.
You just like.
Soon as you
just. He's just imagining the mud wrestling from Stripes in his head. That's all John's doing.
It was actually really funny when Rhea Ripley came out, the wife. She just goes, "Did she get a boob job?" I was like, I don't know, maybe. I don't remember them that big, but sure.
And then the NXT Championship match, Keith Lee versus Karrion, formerly Killer Cross, with Scarlett Bordeaux in his corner.
Now this was the one that honestly, like, I had no idea that Keith Lee was getting the call up. If we had somehow had, say what?
Nobody did.
Yeah, it's weird because I mean, normally we know that sort of shit, and that's when they're going to start taking belts off. You know, I mean, he gave up the other one, and then like he hasn't held this one for very long at all. Like what, maybe the summer?
A month, maybe 2.
And so, like, it didn't make any sense at all for him to lose. But then you find out last night that he's on fucking Raw now. I'm just like, well, now it makes sense as to why he lost. But John also pointed out, did we talk about this on the show last week? Or was it later in the week where you saw the quickly removed from the WWE website picture of Karrion Kross with the NXT title belt?
We talked about it last week very briefly. The WWE shop put up a real quick picture of Karrion Kross with the belts, and deleted it like super quick. But you know, if it's on the internet for half a second, somebody's going to notice it and take a fucking screenshot. Mm-hmm. So, you know, this one was true. On Sunday night at SummerSlam, they announced Keith Lee going to Raw. They had a little promo for him going to Raw. And we'll talk more about that later when we talk about Monday Night Raw and the mishaps there. But what I thought was foreshadowing in this match, earlier in this match, they kept talking about Karrion Kross having a separated shoulder. Like the commentators, Corey Graves was on commentary, and him and Beth Phoenix, and they're doing their normal talking, and they brought up the words separated shoulder like 4 or 5 times. They fucking jinxed Karrion Kross because he's got a goddamn separated shoulder now. He got injured during the match.
Hey, Will, could you look at that piece of paper and tell me who called Karrion Kross?
The only one.
Could you say that one more time? I didn't quite hear that.
You're the only one.
Now sing it like
Nice.
Oh, that was the only one? That was the only one who got it right?
I did not see them belting him that quick. I didn't.
I was
the only one.
Out of the 4 matches that we predicted, you're the only one that got every one correct.
Wow. I was the only one, huh? The only one who got them all right. No way.
You would have thought it.
One. God. Good thing it saved my SummerSlam.
I don't think this is going to go the way of Finn Balor with the Universal title. In an interview that he did after the fact, Karrion Kross says that I don't think I'm going to need, any kind of surgery or anything like that. My range of motion is good. It's not where it needs to be, but it was definitely separated. Like they've addressed the fact that his shoulder was separated. It is a done deal. So we'll see. But a Doomsday Saito suplex from the middle rope was what put Keith Lee away. Keith Lee's awesome. He's a great worker. He's fun to watch. But Karrion Kross is that to me, he's like, how they used to describe Randy Orton as the prototype of a wrestler. If you were going to build a wrestler from the ground up, that's what he would look like. If I were going to build a wrestler from the ground up, it would be Karrion Kross. He'd have longer hair, but everything else, the look, the attitude, the move set, dude, that's
fair.
That's my fucking creator wrestler.
He's got them crazy eyes.
Yeah, he do.
I honestly, if Mattel doesn't get our one friend to just sell them that head that he made of him, I'll be fucking surprised. Mm-hmm. Right, Reaper?
The VEW head?
Dear God.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think he sold those figures on private on eBay.
Yeah, he did.
Jeez.
I am still fucking amazed he is only 20.
Oh yeah, shit. He's young. Oh, it's super talented though.
It's nuts. Like he's got the skills.
Huge following too. Like
No
really was doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Top to bottom, NXT TakeOver 30, solid card, solid pay-per-view.
Only one.
I'm trying to move past that fact, damn it. Me and my 45% are over it.
It's alright, man. I don't know.
I totally forgot that you went for Damian Priest.
I did too. Completely. I thought I had the worst weekend. And then Will's like, yeah, so you go tomorrow. I was like, oh. Alright.
Yo, you don't say.
You don't say that's what I picked. Good.
Well, look at that. So
the next night was SummerSlam.
Oh.
And I signed up for the Thunderdome. I wanted to be part of the virtual experience of Thunderdome. So I signed up for it. And the way that they do it, you get an email that it tells you what your call time is. So once you apply for it, you're good to go. They give you a call time. So when that call time hits, that's when you log on. Mine was 6:45, so halfway through the show was my call time. So I came in during the Bailey Asuka match, or the Sasha Asuka, one of the Asuka matches.
Probably Sasha. It's the Bailey
Sasha,
Asuka
the second
match,
one.
the opener.
That was the opener. So the second one is when I got in. And I couldn't get in. And what they tell you is that it's a one-time link. Don't hit repeat. Don't go out. It only works once. That is bullshit. Because I hit refresh 19 fucking times. And what I think happened was the dumbass who put up the Fire Velveteen Dream placard on his screen, and they booted him. They needed somebody to take that place, and since I was the guy hitting refresh every friggin' 20 seconds, I think that's how I got in. So to the dumbass who put Fire Velveteen Dream on the screen, thank you very much, because that got me into the fucking Thunderdome. It was a really cool experience. You got the screen, you're watching the event on this screen, and then in the bottom left corner is your camera. And it's got an outline of where they want you to be, so a little outline of a body. And then you have a director who comes on there, and he's directing you on what you should be doing. So when a face is coming out, all right, here's so-and-so, let us know what you think about them, clap for your person, blah, blah, blah. If somebody's coming out that's a heel, let us know what you think about this guy. Do you like him? Are you booing him? Give him thumbs down. The director is coming on and directing us. It was pretty cool having that kind of direction to let you know what they want to see, what you want to do. Now, I'm wearing a Baron Corbin shirt during the event. And, me and my daughter and my wife and my son, we're trying to find me. We're trying to see me. And I'm wearing, a gray shirt and whatnot. Don't stand out very much. And my daughter, 8-year-old genius that she is, she goes, Daddy, why don't you wear that bright pink shirt that I got you for your birthday with the dog on it? I bet you we could see a lot better if you put that on. Absolutely you could.
From the mouths of babes.
Absolutely you could. So I can tell you this much. You're not going to be in the same place for too long. They move you around when you're in Thunderdome. So where you're at during one match, you're not going to be at during another match. I was in the upper left-hand corner, 5 people in, 2 rows up from the middle section earlier on during the Bailey match. When I put on the pink shirt, at one point I was in between. I was right behind Corey Graves. I put a picture on the post-to-post Facebook page of me in my hot pink shirt on Corey Graves' shoulder. But all in all, dude, it's a really cool concept. I enjoyed myself. My family enjoyed watching me make a jackass out of myself while watching, the feed, because I'm over here listening directions and talking shit and clapping and smiling. And, at one point the director's like, all right, if you've got your finger in front of your camera, take it off. Because people, I guess, were putting their fingers in front of the camera and shit. So that was pretty funny. But it was cool. I'm going to try and do it again because I had a good time. My only recommendation, because I know Vince McMahon listens to the show, what you need to do is have a map somewhere on the screen of where your screen is at. Because I spend more time looking for myself than watching the match. So if you were to put like a map of the arena, and there's 3,000 screens, something like that, but just have a map and give us an idea of where we're at any given time, on that screen, I think that would drive engagement of us reacting.
Rather than just searching for yourself.
Rather than just searching for yourself.
Because of your vanity. I have to see this.
Oh, I'm so fucking vain.
Oh, I would look for myself.
I know this song is about me.
Oh, jeez.
I hear voices in my head. Oh my God, this is me. Shut up, Jerry. Fuck you, John.
We saw Renee Young. They did. They let everyone know that was her last night on WWE programming. Renee Young is going to be gone. She does have a non-compete clause in her contract, so we're not going to see her over in AEW just yet. But the general consensus is she's going where her husband is.
Who's her husband again?
Jon Moxley.
Oh, goddamn, I forgot.
You don't remember Total Divas when he ran and chased down the guy who stole her hat, bro?
You know how many times I saw Total Divas?
You don't remember that, bro?
That's, honestly, you saying it right there is probably the most times I've ever seen Total Divas.
We saw in the kickoff show MVP versus Apollo Crews for the U.S. title, for the mid-card title.
Hashtag wrong.
Apollo for the win.
Apollo got the win on that one. I am glad he did, but
we all called MVP.
Yep.
Originally, I called Apollo, but y'all sons of bitches convinced me otherwise.
Well, I mean, we occasionally try to sabotage you for fun, but this wasn't one of those times.
Yeah, this was definitely. It just seemed like they need to do something with the Hurt business because I don't feel like they do anything with the Hurt business.
Anytime
anything with them this week either.
They're just there, and now they're the flash in the pan, and now they're done.
Honestly, anytime they think up a pretty decent faction, they wind up, forgetting it exists and not using it.
Well, they're using them. Bobby Lashley on Monday winds up going into Raw Underground and just destroying motherfuckers. But we now know that Apollo will face Bobby Lashley next week at Payback for the U.S. title. So, I mean, they're not letting that storyline die between Apollo Crews and the Hurt Business. But they are going to keep it around for another week. This week on Raw, they had a arm wrestling match between Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews with Mark Henry as the moderator kind of guy, and Apollo Crews wound up winning that. And
damn, Chocolate, you back?
Yeah, that's what sent Bobby into a rage, and he went back in Raw Underground and beat up Dolph Ziggler and stuff. But that was the first one. Then we had Bayley with Sasha Banks versus Asuka. And I know we all went for Asuka, and we were wrong on that one too.
I'm so sad.
Should have been Asuka.
But they are so setting up for them to lose the tag titles, and we're going to see another Sasha Bayley feud. Like during the Bayley match, Sasha wound up taking a bump from Asuka that led to Bayley winning the match. And going to get ahead of ourselves here in the Sasha match, Sasha match when it was Bayley's turn to take that same exact bump, she did not. And that's what.
No, I'm
that's
totally surprised.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed. Okay, continue.
We're seeing that. Raw tag team titles, Garza and Andrade versus the Street Profits.
Let's see. I did the Andrade and Garza. You did Street Profits, and then everyone else did Andrade and Garza.
Who did Street Profits?
You.
The only one? Andrade.
Oh, no.
Now they're going to break up Andrade and Garza.
That's what it was, because I said something about that, how they were making them look weak as a tag team. I mentioned something about that last week on the show, and yeah, that's what we saw.
Because that's what they need to do. Kill their tag teams when they're getting killed in tag team competitions in other companies.
So, yeah, Street Profits won. I don't believe that I went that way, because I'm like super high on Angel Garza. I think he's fucking awesome. I like watching that dude wrestle. I'm high on that dude right now.
He's a good wrestler.
I'm like, yeah, I like the dude. I'm high on him. Yeah, I definitely think they're going to be breaking up that group with Zelina and Garza and Angel or Andrade. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a Charlotte Andrade thing because they're engaged. I don't know if Garza's going to go on a honeymoon because he just got married. I want to see, dude. I think the fucking booking in my mind. I would love to see Aleister Black and his wife Zelina Vega versus Karrion Kross and his wife's girlfriend Scarlett Bordeaux. I think that'd be awesome. Or turn him into a faction if they were on the same brand.
Well, the more you talk about it, the more likely it is to happen. But then they'll also ruin them. As soon as they leave NXT.
That's what I knew.
Stop using your damn chaos magic to ruin everything that's good over there.
That's not me. That's Grayson with his chaos predictions. Fucking dude went for Karrion Kross. Oh, what else we got? Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose. They changed the stipulation on this one. It was originally a hair versus hair match, but now it's a loser leaves the WWE match. Did we have that one on predictions?
Yeah, we all chose Mandy Rose.
That's right, because we all agreed that Sonya would look better bald-headed.
Yes.
And then they were like, oh, wait, she's got all these court dates. It would be best if she didn't go, like, crazy looking.
If she didn't pull the Britney.
Yeah.
And that is literally why they wrote her off TV. She's been having a situation with a stalker, actually broke into her house while Mandy Rose and her were home. And she's got court dates coming up to testify against this guy and whatnot. So that was their way of writing her off TV. They actually went so far as to put her in the alumni section on the WWE website.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
So I take it that Rose won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're going to move Sonya to NXT.
Okay.
Because, like, they took her off because the only other thing I can think of, well, firstly, they took her off because she's probably got her court stuff and she can't, miss those things. Second, if they did, loser has to leave WWE, that means WWE Raw, WWE SmackDown, but not NXT because it's technically its own brand outside of the main roster. So when she comes back, I wouldn't be surprised if she's in NXT. The only other thing I can think of is she's now considered a free agent, and when they do the draft or the superstar shakeup, she could be drafted to one of the main card shows at that point.
Possibly.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
She's not done. She's just going to be off for a little bit. Next up, we had the street fight with Seth Rollins versus with Murphy versus Dominic Mysterio with Rey Mysterio. Dude, Seth Rollins' ring attire.
Oh yeah.
I loved it.
Fucking WCW Halloween Havoc 1997 Rey Mysterio. Same fucking outfit, dude. That was
great.
so cool.
That was one of my favorite parts. just like seeing that and all the reactions. Someone's like, I know on the Wrestling Customs 101 Facebook page, people are already like, why aren't there 900 customs of this already? The match has been over for 45 minutes. Because, I mean, shit, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
I mean...
You guys got any Dominic heads yet? So you can make Dominic customs?
I'm sure someone does, but I know I do not. And I would not be surprised if within the next day or so, if he doesn't already have it, our other buddy at Curbstone is going to have all the decals in the world for that show. Every one of them. The man works faster than anybody I've ever seen. I don't know how.
Tirelessly.
I will say, Dominique, I had not too much hopes on him because he's Ray's kid, and, you know, when he kind of showed up, he was kind of a chunky boy. Mm-hmm. But, like, you fucking worked.
Yeah, he did.
You'd impressed me. I was happy to see him.
On him.
What?
My biggest critique on him, when he comes out for his entrance wearing his hood, he needs to hold it on longer before he takes it off. Because we didn't get a good shot of him wearing the hood that looks like a mask.
It needs to also be a removable hood, because I kind of got tired of seeing it flop up and down onto his head and him have to take it off again.
Well, we know that Dominic Mysterio listens to this show. So, Dominic, keep that shit on a little bit longer. Get a zipper on it. You'll be golden, buddy. But good job.
Yeah, that was excellent work. Who do you think had the better first match? McAfee or Dominic?
Ooh. You're not going to like my answer. Well, no. I'm going to go with Dominic in that regard because of the amount of damage that kid took. Fucking kendo sticks and everything else. That dude took damage. McAfee didn't take damage. He was in there for the paycheck, for the one and done. Dominic took some freaking damage.
He got hit hard and kept going.
Mm-hmm. He paid his dues, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. Dude, all he's done since he kind of debuted, like, these past few weeks is just get tore the fuck up. I was so hoping Mama Mysterio was going to come in and Hurricane Rana somebody.
That would have been awesome.
It's like she came out for like a moment where he's like, no, you gotta go back. And I was like, just come in. Don't you mess with Mama Bear. Hurricane Rana. Or like the 619.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Did you watch
do a West Coast, the West Coast Pop.
West Coast Pop. Did you watch the show Reaper?
Yeah, no, I did. I watched it. I liked it.
Just wanted to sure we were leaving you out of the conversation.
No, you're good. I'm gonna have to head out with you guys, so it was fun having me on. You know.
Oh yeah, I hate to see that you got to go early, but I mean, hell, we're long-winded as shit sometimes. So I mean, it does not surprise me at all. So yeah,
well, I appreciate it. I'll talk. See you guys later. If you
want to come back on again, just let us know, and we'll make something happen.
All right, see you, bro.
Absolutely. We'll give you a shout out at the end of the show, Reaper. Take care, buddy.
See you guys.
All right. So as we all knew, Seth Rollins won that match. I think we all went.
No,
with
I
Seth
called
Rollins.
Dominic. Don't you dare say that.
I called Rollins, John, and Grayson called Dominic, and then Chapel called Rollins as well.
Gotcha.
Oh, John, welcome to the club. I still feel like they should have won. Like, I don't know. Ray lost everything, and then Seth still comes on top over the kid. But I will say I really love that ending moment where he's literally just taunting Ray, and then just curb stomp right in front of him.
Yeah.
But I was watching it, and I'm just like, he's going to pop out. He's going to pop out and do something and get the win, still the win. Nope. face to Matt.
So who
something popped all right.
So the official end?
Seth Rollins for the win.
Rollins won. I'll be damned.
Yeah, and then he gives Dominic the keys to the handcuffs because Ray was handcuffed to the ring, and then Seth and Murphy walk away, which leads to the match on Monday night. They had a tag team match between those four on Monday night.
Nice.
Next up, this is the Sasha versus Asuka match. This is the one where I jumped on to the Thunderdome.
This is the one where all of us were correct.
Yeah, Asuka won this one because of the fact that Bayley did not help Sasha, and Asuka won the belt. And Sasha looked pissed, even on Monday night when they came out together because they had a rematch for the belts. Sasha is just pissed. And they're going to wind up losing the belts this weekend at Payback because they are fighting against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler for the tag team belts this Sunday at Payback. So something tells me they're going to lose all that gold except for the one that Bayley's got, and Sasha's going to want it. So we'll see that take place here pretty soon. Next up, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. This friggin' match went everywhere. They were all over, breaking announce desks. It was pretty damn good. We saw some figure four leg locks. Drew McIntyre got a cut over his eye, so we had some blood. Look at everything in this match.
I know Grayson and I both went with the Viper, and then you and Chappell both went with McIntyre.
McIntyre for the win.
I liked the ending of that match as well. How it wasn't even a special that did it. It was just a pin. But I guess they're going to keep it on Drew for a little bit longer before they do whatever. Because I feel like the game plan is still, the final match of Edge and Orton, and then probably for the belt. That's my long game.
Yeah, it was a backslide win.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
I could see Survivor Series as being when McIntyre gets it, and then Edge comes in and wins the Rumble, and then sets up the WrestleMania final, dance.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they did the promo for Keith Lee coming to Monday Night Raw. And then we had the main event of Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman. I'm sorry, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Thank God this friggin' match wasn't in red light.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they did not do a red light match on the Braun Strowman Fiend match.
Thank God.
God.
Yeah. And that was actually a pretty good, hard-hitting match. I didn't mind
Braun
it.
Strowman he brought out a knife and cuts open the friggin' apron, pulls back the padding, and exposes the wood. I was like, God damn.
So, here was my thought on that whole segment. When he got the knife, I thought he was going to cut the mask off.
I was thinking that too.
I was like, that'd be fucking cool. The mask is sort of the power. If you cut the mask off, you've just got weird-ass Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And it would have been a neat thing. There's your chink in the armor. It's the mask. You take off the mask, he's a little more harmless.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he started cutting up the ring mat, it's always still fun to see them just do a move on bare 2x4s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's always fun to see, my daughter had never seen what's under a wrestling mat. That was the first time she's ever seen that. So it was a really cool experience for her to see, what these guys do and what they land on, and that it's really not that much. It's not a trampoline.
No. I mean, these modern
and,
modern rings have a lot more give than the old ones, but it's still not a lot.
But then Will's favorite wrestler, Roman Reigns, came back.
No, fuck that shit, man.
Yeah, so Bray Wyatt hits two Sister Abigails for the win. He gets up, and then out of nowhere, Roman Reigns freaking punches Wyatt over and over again. He's got a shirt that says "wreck everything and leave," and he's got a new set of teeth on him. Looks like a friggin' horse.
Got some chompers.
According to Randy Orton.
Mean old champers.
Who's ready to go gnaw on some hay? Who wants some oats? I'm gonna say this would be the perfect time to do 3 things. Get rid of the vest.
Yes.
Change the music.
Yes.
Get rid of the ooh-ah.
Yes, and get rid of the Superman punch forever.
Yeah, it'd be cool with the Superman punch going, but I don't think that's asking a little too much.
It's a good move. Orange Cassidy does it.
He makes it look good, though.
Yeah, Orange Cassidy stretches out when he does his.
Yeah.
He gets long. But that set up the triple threat no DQ match for Payback with Strowman, The Fiend, and Roman Reigns for the belt.
I will also say, dude, Roman Reigns got leaner and fucking jacked.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can see it in his face. His face is, the cheekbones are a little more pronounced, and he literally...
That also might be the teeth, though.
Yeah.
Pushes him
it
out.
It could be the teeth as well as, just putting on more lean muscle rather than bulk.
Mm-hmm.
But the dude looked good. I actually, even though I'm one of the strongest critics of Roman Reigns, as in I fucking hated the dude, but I felt like it was a nice, fresh drink of water to see him come back finally. And because probably just due to the biggest, that like being such a surprise with not even thinking about it, not on my radar. And then
it was on fucking nobody's radar because they still had the Alexa Bliss angle like slotted.
Exactly.
She's pretty pissed that she didn't get in.
Yeah, she tweeted about it. Very obscure tweets, but you could tell that she was upset that they didn't. Because I think, like my prediction last week, I think they were going to make her the Sister Abigail or have some kind of tie to the Fiend, who is now a friggin' face. So
that's weird.
And
to make him a face.
They could have just held it off. Like Roman's like, yeah, I'll debut, and then they do that for SummerSlam. And now, since that's done, maybe at Payback, Alexa Bliss shows up, and that's how he retains to keep sort of that story arc going. He'll probably win, but it's more of he'll get the pin over Strowman rather than Reigns to keep Reigns looking strong.
Yep.
I can see
exactly
that.
What I was thinking. Why it was going to be a three man triple threat. Put him in the main event right off the bat with a title match, but he doesn't take the pinfall. The show started off with Drew. Randy Orton came out, destroyed him, kicked the shit out of him twice. We don't need to do a Raw recap. I'm just looking to see any big spots. Keith Lee had his first match against Randy Orton that Drew McIntyre interfered in. So Keith Lee lost his first match on Raw.
Here's the big things from Raw that I feel like are about all that really matters. One, you were already touching on, Keith Lee's debut was botched.
Yep.
Apparently no one likes his new ring music, his entrance music.
They changed his music and his gear.
Yeah, he basically came out in some workout shorts and a t-shirt. One person online made the joke because Vince doesn't like fat guys. I'm just like, dude, really?
Kind of accurate.
I mean,
the word that I've been reading is that Vince wanted him to cover his stomach. But I mean, we can knock that all we want, but AEW did it first. Evil Uno.
Well, okay, fine, but I still think it's fucking stupid. Now,
I agree.
The biggest thing, though, 1, Thunderdome return. 2, much like the faux pas of Fire Velveteen Dream, Monday night presented us with Chris Benoit, was watching the show.
Yeah, he was.
And a Klan member. was watching.
Yes.
Oh my god, that the clan member scene was actually Chris Jericho's scene from the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Well, either way, it's still kind of.
Oh, it's still distasteful and tasteless, but
that makes it a whole lot funnier, though.
It's
funnier
that. Because they got Chris Jericho on a WWE screen by doing a Ku Klux Klan scene from a Jay and Silent Bob movie.
That's freaking hysterical. That's so funny. Aleister Black came back. He's a bad guy now. He beat up Kevin Owens.
People are saying good things about heel Aleister Black already.
He came out looking like a pirate. He had black wrap on his head that covered his eye, and dude, he just snapped super quick and just beat the shit out of Kevin Owens. The black mass while he was on his knees and just pelted him. Mm-hmm. And let's not forget, that we did see a title change on Monday night. The new 24/7 champion is Akira Tozawa.
I'll be damned. I was really expecting you to say R-Truth again.
No, Akira got the belt. Shelton Benjamin came into the match with the belt, and he lost it to Akira Tozawa during the match. What the hell else? We already mentioned Keith Lee. Yeah. Montez Ford went against Angel Garza. Mm-hmm. The chick from The Bachelor was there. What the hell are they going to do with that? Shayna and Nia Jax cut a promo earlier, and what I thought was funny was Shayna Baszler kind of fat shaming Nia Jax. She called her Haystacks Calhoun.
Oh God. Haystacks Calhoun.
Yeah. And then Nia calls her an Addams Family reject and whatnot. But they wind up getting a tag team title shot on Payback. So we're going to see them. Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Bianca Belair versus the Iconics. Yeah, whatever. Mark Henry, we talked about that. Apollo Crews won. Lana and Natalya are working an angle against Mickie James. So Natalya's heel now. Her and Lana are a team, and they don't like Mickie James, apparently. Who acts about that? Asuka and Sasha Banks in a lumberjack match. Asuka wins. Dominic and Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins and Murphy. We saw him come out again. Dominic, I thought he worked better on this match with his father than he did the night before. Working in a four-man situation. Ended in a no contest because Retribution came out. A lot of talk about who Retribution are. I think for sure Dominic Dijakovic is one of them. Dio Madden is another one. So they came out and beat the shit out of Ray and Dominic. They messed them up. They messed up Ray so bad that they made him bleed through his mask. And he sent out pictures. He tweeted out pictures of a big old wound on his head and his mask, just stained pink from blood. The only other WWE thing I got is NXT is getting a new commentator this week. We're going to see the return of Bad News Barrett, Wade Barrett, or Stu Bennett, as you guys might know him from NWA, is coming to do commentary this week in NXT.
I really hope, he doesn't leave NWA. I do. I want NWA to come back so that way their talent can get working. I can hear, the commentary again, because I enjoyed him on commentary with NWA a lot.
Agreed.
He was a great substitute after they kicked fucking Cornette to the curb.
Cornette.
Great substitute. That and just calling fucking Aaron Stevens' ass without calling him an ass all the time. Good old Aaron Shooter Stevens.
Yep.
It was great. I mean, I really don't think they're gonna be hard pressed, in my opinion, to find another announcer that's gonna have like good chemistry with the rest, because you got Joe Galley, who's like the perennial straight man. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then you need someone else to really bring the fun parts, and that's what Stu Bennett did.
Yeah, he could pull the heel off if he needed to, because he's been a heel in his career and side with the bad guys. He can make the other announcer look bad. Like, you know, he's not as good as, but, you know, kind of does what Jericho does on commentary. Just not at Jericho's level.
It's going to be something. Like, it really seems like more and more NWA people are kind of jumping ship, and I don't like that. It doesn't bode well, but as we mentioned before, the best way that it seems things are getting done, and it almost seems like Damage Control, is the way that they're doing it with Thunder Rosa. It's a sharing of talent, the way they should have been doing it to begin with. So, I mean, it could be just, you know, they're late to the game, and hopefully it's not one of those too little too late things, and they lose all of their major players to other companies again.
Yeah, that would definitely suck.
Yeah, it would suck real hard.
That's all I got from the world of WWE.
In terms of the triple threat, I feel like we all basically agree that it's probably going to be Bray,
Fiend.
The Fiend.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Fiend on this one.
All right. And then earlier on, I know we mentioned it, and we're thinking this is the night that the Bailey Banks connection dissolves.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler. They're the new Rock and Sock connection.
All right. I feel like it's time to go ahead and move that story arc between those two along. So yeah, I'm leaning the same way. Grayson?
It's WWE, man. If they just put a fucking tag team together, they're gonna get the belts.
Okay.
Yeah, his logic is not flawed.
No.
It's and like oh my god, I wish you could see my face. I don't think Nia Jax deserves any type of belt.
No,
I agree.
But this is the best way for Shayna to ever get a belt.
Sadly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I can believe it.
All right, Lashley and Cruz.
This is a toss one for me because I like how they're playing Apollo Crews as kind of like the jester to the Hurt Business, but I want the Hurt Business to become a monster faction. I want them to be dripping. I want to see gold on them. So I'm going to go with Bobby.
I was thinking the same thing myself because I want Hurt Business to do something, and every week it just seems like they just keep, kind of getting snubbed. Not shit on, just snubbed.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Bobby as well, just because Bobby is more of, I guess, the wrestler rather than a glorified manager like MVP. So again, I'll probably say Bobby, hopefully to establish Hurt Business as a real faction rather than whatever the hell they are.
Somebody to have goals on that. And Shelton Benjamin lost his, so give it to Bobby. He's the wrestler. He's the biggest. He's the baddest that the Hurt Business has. He's the CEO of the Hurt Business.
What I said before is pretty much all I got for that. So next we've got Orton and Lee.
Yes.
I'm going with Lee because it would be so stupid not to give him a rub on his first pay-per-view on the main roster.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then my thought at the same time is they're both in a particular situation.
Mm-hmm.
Lee had the belt, and he just lost it, and now it's his first match on the main card of a surprise debut. And then you've got Orton, who's doing some of his best work right now, who just lost in a title match that, some were expecting him to win, to also take an L. I think this is one of those where neither wins.
Drew McIntyre comes back and interrupts again? Because he's not on the card.
Yeah, I don't feel like it'd be that, but I don't see how either one taking a loss helps that person. Like, if I have to choose, Lee will probably get the win because Randy can take a loss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, either of them losing to me doesn't make sense with how their stories have been going. It's just weird. It's just a weird situation for them two to be in.
I think Drew McIntyre is going to get involved somehow.
So I mean, you can put me down for Lee, but ultimately my guess is neither wins or loses.
So you're thinking like a double count out, or just like the ref throws the match out?
Yeah, something along those lines. Because it just makes more sense.
Yeah.
To do that and then set it up to where the next match is more of the final, and then it would be a clean win for Lee.
So here's what's going to happen. Drew McIntyre is going to run in, going to interfere with the match. They're going to turn it into a triple threat match for the belt. Keith Lee gets the belt. That's what's going to happen. Mark.
I can believe it. I believe it. As weird as that is, I can believe it.
So John's going with Keith Lee as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So triple threat, or triple Lee and a surprise triple threat. Okay. So Hardy and Styles in their rumored match.
Jeff Hardy. They're not taking off of him yet.
Okay. Grace.
That's a good one. Go Hardy.
Okay.
Hardy to retain.
I don't.
It was
just weird. It was weird that he won it in the first place, and this is payback.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, this is the match for the payback. But that was my other part that I was going to get to, is the redemption angle for Hardy, who came back from issues, fought through Sheamus, who mind fucked him with his own issues, and all that. So, yeah, I'll go Hardy.
It's like, part of me wants to go Styles just to cover the bases and such, and I like seeing Styles with gold. But what you guys say makes way more sense. But then again, it's WWE. They don't make sense.
They don't make sense. Here's a thought. Sheamus interference cost Hardy the belt. Payback.
Oh,
they say they're no. They say they're done. Sheamus said he's done with him.
They're done.
And Sheamus has
never mind. Then
Sheamus has a rumored match against Big E. So I don't see the run-in. I don't see the.
Then I'll stick with Hardy.
It's like the main thing that even I don't think WWE would do, outside of the fact that they are probably going to wind up doing it with that title match, is just a yo-yo belt. Just back and forth, back and forth. So that's the only thing that's keeping me against going with Styles getting it back. Yeah. The only thing. So I'm gonna go with Hardy as well. For Riddle and Corbin, fuck Baron Corbin. I'm going.
Yeah, I don't care about Riddle. Corbin. I will never say Corbin.
John?
This is Riddle's. He hasn't been on a pay-per-view yet, has he?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I'm going to go Riddle.
Okay. John might as well burn his Baron Corbin shirt.
I have a lot of shirts. I'm allowed to go for other people.
All right. Next rumored match. Big E versus Sheamus.
if that match happens, I think it's going to be Big E. They're playing heavily on. He's finally getting a singles run. Kofi and Xavier Woods' blessings and blah blah blah.
I feel the same way. I do. Grace?
Oh, Big E, man. Big E. He's getting his push. He deserves the singles title. He deserves a heavyweight title. Of all the New Day members, he deserves it. Mm-hmm. So I will always pick Big E. As long as it pushes him to a belt.
Fair enough. All right, and the last rumored match, and the last one that we guessed on, KO versus Aleister Black.
Aleister Black, this heel turn would make no sense if he doesn't win.
Yep.
Agreed. There is not a single match on this proposed card where we did not say the same thing.
Perfect. Good job, guys. You're on the winning team. With the exception to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
There's an asterisk there.
Yeah. Let me go back. Mr. That's right.
Only one.
Let's see. The number that you guessed correctly for SummerSlam out of 8 matches. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I got 3? Oh,
You got-
sick.
I myself, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Chapel got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then John got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Woo! I think I might have hit 50%.
And how many NXTs did everyone get?
NXTs. But back.
So we only had 4 of them.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We all got 3. You got 4.
I got
perfect.
1, 2. Grayson got all of them. John got 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chapel also got 2.
So John got me beat by 1 of the overall weekend, 7-8.
Uh-oh. John outdid every...
John did the best. Yeah, he got
50%.
the best because I tied Chapel, I beat you, but I was 1 behind John.
Well, man,
I finally got the rub.
I finally got the mark.
This week, that's the title of this episode. John's Rub. Let them do with it what they want.
But let's go ahead and leave the WWE universe because honestly, I'm tired of talking about it. And we'll jump over to New Japan just to wrap things up. Also, because New Japan doesn't have a whole lot going on right now, but big things. So the New Japan Cup USA, it ended just this weekend, I believe, or just late last week 1. We mentioned in the previous episode or one prior to that we all predicted that Kenta was going to take it.
Yep.
And sure enough, Kenta wins. So he now has the case, the briefcase with the contract for the match against Moxley for the U.S. title. Now, as an interview that Mox gave just the other day that talked about his New Japan contract details. 1, Mox's contract with New Japan only lasted last year up until Wrestle Kingdom. Other than that, he's been working almost purely on a handshake deal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So a handshake deal with a belt.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
They got a lot of faith in him, or they know his worth.
I know. So my guess now is, will they be able to convince AEW to let Mox defend that title on U.S. soil, or are they going to have to wait until travel restrictions are lifted?
I'm hoping they make an exception that they'll allow. Yeah.
I'm hoping for that a whole lot. Now, the other thing, last week we talked about the fan voting and we went through each match and we got it a little backwards. We kind of did it as we said who we wanted to win and what type of match we wanted it to be. The actual voting worked out like this. You had the two people in the match, like Okada versus Tokyo Pimp, Takahashi. For Okada, he wanted a 1v3 handicap match, while Takahashi wanted the lumberjack match. So, everyone that voted for Okada made it to where it would be, they voted that they thought Okada was going to win, is what I assume is how that worked. And that the match would wind up having the stipulation of the 1v3 handicap. So, Okada got over 50% of the vote for that. So that match between those two at the next event is going to be a 1 versus 3 handicap match in Okada's favor. Next, Yano.
Fuck Yano.
There we go. Yano and fuck if I can remember who he was facing now. It slipped my mind. But he won the majority of the vote in his. And in doing so, that match now has a 5 count, outside the ring out.
Yeah.
So now it's a 5 count to DQ. And then you've got Desperado.
Desperado.
There it is. Desperado in his match, it's set up to be a lovely no finishers match because more people voted for Desperado. He had the highest percentage at it was at least 63 or 65% of the vote in his bracket to get that match stipulation. So there's that, and then we already know that Sho and Sonata are doing a submissions match.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much all the updates for New Japan. The U.S. Cup ends with Kenta getting the contract for the title match against Mox. Mox is working a handshake, and then Okada, Yano, and Desperado win the fan vote for their respective match stipulations. So the next New Japan show, where I believe they're going to wrap up Summer Struggles, should be pretty good.
Nice.
But I mean, that is that. It was a long one, but pretty good. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Did we want to mention the spoiler for Ring of Honor?
Go right ahead. Yes, I forgot.
All right. So Ring of Honor did some TV tapings on the 22nd, 23rd, and there was a familiar face that showed up for the tapings. EC3 showed up in Ring of Honor, so he is clearly writing his own narrative. For those of you who don't understand what's going on there, he is currently in a major storyline over in TNA, where he's signed to also. So it looks like he's going to be working for 2 organizations, Ring of Honor and Impact. So good for him. He knows his worth. He knows his value. And he's going to spread himself out.
Yeah, I mean, if he's been able to work the contract obligations to where he can work for 2 different companies like that, more power to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of nice to be able to move around and not have to settle in one spot.
Be able to express his talents in multiple locations with people who will actually use him, as opposed to how he was treated like shit in WWE. I'm sorry that you guys know I'm a big WWE fan, but man, I think that's the one I'm most pissed about, that they just didn't use him, and probably Eric Young were the 2 biggest ones for me that they've really missed the target on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like I said a moment ago, before you reminded me of the fun time, quick little ROH snippet, that's a wrap, gentlemen. That's
a wrap.
Did it all. Again, big thank you to our buddy the Mad Reaper for showing up. I know he had to dip out early, but he had a long day. He told me on the side, so he said sorry that he had to duck out a little early. But hey, I completely get it. We're long-winded. We usually tend to, beat people down with our in-depth discussions.
I actually had a little bit of news I forgot about and just popped. So, we have RetroSoft coming out with Retromania Wrestling, and then we talked about Virtual Basement and their unknown or unnamed game coming out.
Yeah.
They've officially announced their name for their game.
Okay.
The Virtual Basement one.
Uh-huh.
The game will be called The Wrestling Code as the official name of the Virtual Basement game, and they have a fucking laundry list of fucking names signed to this game. Oh, yeah. But if you look through it, there are some notable names missing that were previously announced for it. Hailey Ray and Rich Swann are the two main ones that I recognize. And I'm wondering if it's because of the exclusivity deal, possibly with Impact, even though I think they signed before their contracts got re-upped.
Oh no, that's an interesting thought.
But just to toss out a few names that people may or may not know that are going to be in it, they got Alex Riley, The Ascension, the Beer City Bruiser, Brian Cage, Brian Pillman Jr. They've got a side note. As soon as the game comes out, my heavyweight champion will be Cheeseburger.
Fucking A! Goddamn cheeseburger!
Old cheeseburger.
Man, I miss seeing Cheeseburger wrestle.
And then they got God rest his soul. They got Crime Time, Shad Gaspar, and JTG still going. They got EC3 as well, since we had just mentioned him. Will's favorite wrestler, Enzo. My tag team champions when I play the game after I let Crime Time have it first if they're not defaulted. The Gymnasty Boys. Indy Darling. I love them. White Mike. And then, of course, Old Man Kent Shamrock, don't kick my ass. They got Matt Morgan, who is, fucking giant of a man who had a stutter problem in WWE, and then they did him pretty good in TNA. Petey Williams, Matt Seidel, or Evan Bourne. Rob Van Dam was going to be in it. Zach Gowen, the dude who had the
one-legged guy.
Lesnar, the Brock Lesnar feud where he only had one leg. Eva Elise will be in it. And Thunder Rosa will as well. So there's a couple names. But just Google it. You can find the whole list of names. There's probably like 50 names. I'm not going to waste everyone's time just reading names off.
It sounds like they've got a pretty solid setup.
Yeah, dude. I just need them to throw up a pre-order and take my money.
I just need Retromania to fucking show up already.
Yeah, I now believe it's just a long con. No, it's coming 10 years from now. Don't worry, guys. We've only got 2 sprites left to do. 20 years later. Oh man, COVID-36 happened. So, yeah, but I want Retromania to show up. I want this to show up. I want AEW to have their Aki Engine game show up. But with that, yeah, there we go.
Cool. That'll do. All right. It's always fun to hear news about video games because I have a feeling in the near future wrestling games are going to have a damn resurgence and they're going to get good again.
I got WWE Battlegrounds on order, so I'll let you know. I got a pre-order in on that, so I can get the Edge pad.
Yeah, tell me how Munchkin Land is.
Yeah, I'll tell you how much of it's got to be better than 2K20. Jesus.
Well, I mean, a bag of shit can be better than 2K20.
Yeah.
Well, they have a good roster lineup for that game. I will give them that roster stuff they got, and then the upcoming DLC characters that they already announced for some reason. They got some good choices in there. For Battleground, I don't remember the exact breakdown, but some wrestlers, I think some may have been NXT, and then some of them are names that kind of hit the main roster a little later from when the game was probably in development, so they're just tossing them into it as DLC.
Gotcha. Because the game itself is only $40, if I remember right.
Yes.
It's not a full
it's
price
$39.99. Yeah. Which is smart for what they're releasing. They should do that. Make it a $40 game.
After what they did with fucking 2K, I spent $100 on that motherfucker. They owe me. So, all right, Grayson, take us out of here.
All right. So once again, that is another episode of Post to Post with the Brothers of Discussion and our good friend Drummer John. Once again, mad shout-outs to Reaper for joining in on the show for the bit he did. As Will mentioned, we do get a little long-winded, and he probably did have some more important, pressing figure customizations to do. More importantly, go check his work out. He's on Instagram. What was it? Custom Underground?
Custom Underground is the podcast / customizing competition that him and our other buddy, Real Chosen One, run. And I've been on that podcast a couple times, and I've been in that competition and pretty much every one for the past 3 years I've been in it.
Nice.
Yeah, I've made it to I think maybe the finals once. Damn good people. Damn good show. Their podcast is all video, so you can find it on YouTube. Just search for the Custom Underground. He's on Instagram at the Mad Reaper. And there we go. Just know he is top shelf when it comes to customs. Top shelf.
He needs to call himself the Mad Fat Reaper. Put a PHAT in there. Mad Fat Reaper.
Or just
make it happen, Reaper.
And then last but not least, of course,
the most
man behind the man on the streets, yes. Falcon. Follow him. Follow And the Polar. Check out all of their videos, please. Give them as much support as you can. They're just great people. Chapel was on last week. Falcon does the sound stuff. Everyone is just that whole group of dudes is great. So
they make us sound good.
Yeah, they do. Yes. Falcon works magic. I don't know how he does it, and then Chapel brings the energy back. So
he's damn wizard. Chapel was that shot of adrenaline we needed to stay alive, because that first episode back after vacation was, it was a snoozer. But
goodbye, 12 followers. We're now down to 6.
They stayed. An upward trend.
Awesome.
Yes.
So as always, to you and this Tuesday night, we bid you adieu. Eat Blue Chew and Omaha Steaks.
Keep it classy, San Diego.
Peace! We're out.
So long and good night, bang.
Oh, Kenny drop.